welcome to the program, Sandra. Your roles, have just been standout, and we know that you won the Best Actress at Cannes, and the film won the Best Film, the Palme d'Or. But you have said, you're German, that you never wanted to play a fascist or a Nazi, as so many Hollywood directors or producers or writers often offer to Germans. Tell me why not, and why you did in this film.
I think it had to do, well, first of all, thank you for having me. It's really an honor. I think it had to do with, it was connected to Jonathan Glazer. That's the first thing. And I think his artistic choices that he made in the beginning, that he told us about, Christian Friedel and me, in the first meeting, the way that he would place the cameras, that he would shoot the film in the original, almost the original place, that they would rebuild the house of the Hösses, that they would plant the garden, all these things. So it seemed more like it didn't seem to be like the usual way to film this period of time. And that interested me very much. And also, he was very clear about that he had the same feelings that I had. So we kind of, that kind of matched.
So let's just explain. Jonathan Glazer is the director. He's British. And this film is extraordinary because it chills you with the horrors of the Holocaust while never showing inside the camp. And we constantly watch you, Mrs. Höss, and your husband, Mr. Rudolf Höss, who was the camp commandant, living an aspirational middle-class life while the horror was going on across the wall. So tell us a little bit more about it. I mean, I've never seen this horror portrayed in this way.
I think what Jonathan wanted to achieve was a certain sort of discomfort in the audience, because you know, sometimes when you see things and you can, I don't know, we talked a lot about the exploitation of the topic, if you know what I mean, and what it would mean to show the suffering of the victims again and again and again, which would mean that other people would have to embody that again and again and again, and it would re-traumatize again and again, you know. So it was a constant, things were reproduced all the time. And he was interested in our connection to the perpetrators. What connects us to them? What is there not so much difference maybe? Because what would we do to have a little comfort in our lives, to have our little garden, and to send our children to school and not be bothered by anything that goes on behind the wall? So he chose this perspective to show that it is, they are connected to us today.
And it is possible to be there and to turn away. And since you mentioned the wall and the garden, which abuts Auschwitz, I want to play a little clip, which is you with your mother in the film, talking about, essentially, what a lovely place you have.
Das hier ist die Mauer vom Lager. Ja, das ist die Lagermauer. Also da haben wir auch noch Wein gepflanzt, damit das zuwächst, damit man das nicht mehr so sieht. Vielleicht ist ja Esther Silbermann dort drüben. Wer war das nochmal? Ja, die, für die ich geputzt habe.
I wonder if you agree that just that scene, and including the fact that, the director used sound of what I think are the furnaces, sound of people's cries, and not the video, as you said. It's even more chilling, maybe, than actually seeing what we've seen in historical footage and, as you say, other films that may have exploited the Holocaust.
I think that a lot of people, not all of them, as we can see today, are familiar with these pictures. So the noises, I think, trigger a sort of memory that everybody has. And also it kind of reaches deep into the subconscious. That's what Johnny Byrne kind of created with his sound work, which is incredible. I think the research that he did to find these noises and to recreate them, and the accuracy that is in his work is just astonishing. So yes, I think it goes beyond the intellect and anything that we can grab or capture. My English isn't enough, but
and you said that. I think maybe the director or you did it. They asked you all as German actors to examine your families, your connections, to know, more about your own history. Is that correct?
No, I think some of us did that. I did that because I realized that I never did that before. That is something that Germans sometimes don't do. And unfortunately, some of my ancestors don't live anymore, and they weren't really not able, like I felt like physically not able to speak about what they saw and what they've experienced. So there are some gaps, but everybody that I asked, of course, gave me their honest opinion and their honest memory.
Can I ask you, let's switch, because it is absolutely extraordinary that you are in these two phenomenal films, because Anatomy of a Fall is the other film you're in that, as I said, won at Cannes. And in fact, Zone of Interest came in kind of second at Cannes. So it's very, very, I mean, you're here, there, and absolutely everywhere. And the languages, there's so many languages. There's German, there's French, and there's English, and you have to speak them all. I mean, a kind of a strange question, or I don't know if it's strange, but I don't know whether there's an answer. Was it difficult to play these two different roles, or were there similarities in the characters?
In the end, they're all human, so there must be something that connects them. But I didn't feel that way. And there was a gap between them, a very long gap, where I made another film. So there were 3 films in a row that, of course, I had to connect them energetically somehow to make sense of all the movements, between the characters.